There are encounters in life that feel accidental, like stumbling into someone's orbit without warning. And then there are those extraordinary moments when love is placed directly in your path by something greater than chance. When you are one of the chosen, you eventually come to see that love is never a careless accident, never a meaningless coincidence, never a fleeting spark designed to flare up and vanish into the ashes of disappointment. The world often confuses infatuation with destiny, but the truth is far deeper than shallow passions that burn out in a matter of weeks or hollow connections that leave you emptier than before you began. Real love, the kind that endures, the kind that transforms, the kind that feels as though it has been written into the blueprint of your very existence, is sacred. It does not arrive haphazardly, and it does not operate according to the temporary scripts society has written. When the author of life himself places someone before you, the air around you shifts in ways you cannot explain. The atmosphere feels different, almost charged, as though heaven has bent down to press its fingerprints across the moment. People may call it luck, they may dismiss it as timing, but deep within your spirit, you know better. You recognize the touch of the divine. When such a connection enters your life, it doesn't come dressed as the stormy version of love that movies and culture glamorize. It does not seek to throw you into chaos or keep your heart pounding in endless uncertainty. God's design for love is not meant to be a battlefield where bruised souls fight to hold each other. Instead, it is meant to be a sanctuary. It is not a roller coaster of confusion, but a place of stillness that speaks louder than words. When God Himself chooses someone for you, that person carries with them a presence that feels unlike anything you've known before. Their presence does not force you into striving, does not keep you replaying every glance and silence as though your worth depends on deciphering them. Instead, there is a calm that strengthens you, a peace that anchors you, a rest that reaches into the deepest parts of your being. You will notice it almost instantly. Your breath slows, your shoulders soften, your mind stops spinning, and your spirit whispers with unmistakable certainty, "You are safe here." This kind of peace is not born out of perfection in another person. It is born out of divine alignment. The reason you feel steady around them is because the connection itself is resting under the weight of God's hand. When He ordains something, His peace comes with it as confirmation. And this peace is far from passive. It is not denial in disguise. It does not require you to pretend everything is fine while hidden cracks spread beneath the surface. Rather, it is the kind of stillness that holds you together even when uncertainty swirls. You may not have the full picture of the future. You may not know every detail that lies ahead, but deep down, you will know you are exactly where you are meant to be. That assurance becomes a compass in your spirit. No matter how winding or treacherous the road ahead may be, something within you keeps pointing back to the truth. This is right. This is safe. This is God. But do not think for a moment that the enemy will simply sit back and watch as heaven places something so precious into your hands. Counterfeits will always arise. False versions of love, dressed in convincing costumes, will attempt to steal your attention. They will mimic stability, but drain your soul. They will disguise chaos as passion. This is why many people fall for flames that burn brightly but die quickly. They confuse intensity with intimacy, forgetting that God's love does not bring restlessness. His love brings rest. The one He sends will not make you fight for scraps of attention or turn love into a performance where you are endlessly auditioning for their care. The person God places in your life will see you without you having to shout, will value you without you having to prove your worth, will affirm you without requiring you to lose yourself. And yet, sometimes this divine peace can feel so foreign that it unsettles you at first. If you have lived in chaos long enough, calm may feel unnatural. You might question it, wondering why your heart isn't racing or why your mind isn't spinning the way it once did. But that is the point. God is retraining your spirit to recognize that love is not supposed to be emotional whiplash. It is supposed to be an anchor. With the person he sends, silence will not be awkward. It will be comforting. Disagreements will not be wars of destruction. They will be conversations marked by respect. Vulnerability will not feel like danger. It will feel like freedom. Even in shadows, when life grows heavy, their presence will serve as a quiet reminder that you are not alone, that God is near, that the bond is deeper than the momentary darkness. This peace is not temporary. It does not vanish when challenges arise. That is how you know it is not an illusion of emotion, but a reality anchored in the divine. You will feel it in countless little ways, in how they look at you without judgment, in how their words settle your restless heart, in how their presence shields you from the noise of the world. When storms come, when disagreements surface, when pressures push against the relationship, the peace of God will remain. That endurance is the mark that separates fantasy from truth. But peace is only the first sign. For the one God sends does not only soothe your spirit, they also propel you toward your purpose. And purpose, for those chosen by heaven, is not optional. It is the very reason for your existence, the assignment written into your DNA before you were even born. When God selects someone for you, He is not merely uniting two hearts, He is aligning two destinies. He is merging two callings, weaving together two stories so that when they meet, heaven's mission is amplified on earth. That is why the person God chooses will not just fit into your life comfortably. They will advance it in ways that feel beyond coincidence. Their strengths will rise where your weaknesses leave gaps, and your vision will spark something within them. It is not about having the same job, the same hobbies, or even the same personality. It is about direction. Without trying, you will both find yourselves walking toward the same horizon. Even when your daily tasks differ, your hearts will labor for the same cause. And often, before romantic feelings even awaken, you will sense this unshakable awareness that their presence accelerates your growth, sharpens your faith, strengthens your discipline. Conversations with them will naturally drift toward purpose, toward what matters most, toward a picture bigger than personal happiness. That is the mark of divine alignment. The enemy dreads these alignments because he knows their power. Two people united in love are strong, but two people united in both love and purpose are unstoppable. This is why false connections often feel heavy, distracting, or draining. They keep your eyes locked on each other in dysfunction, rather than moving forward toward destiny. But the one God sends will not derail you. They will not compete with your calling or drag you into detours that cost you years. Instead, they will propel you forward, even when the path grows steep. This alignment is not only seen in dramatic, obvious ways, but in the quiet consistencies, the way they celebrate your calling without fear, the way they pray for you before you step into assignments, the way they encourage you when the burden of your mission feels unbearable. With them, love and calling will not be at war. They will be fuel for each other. Even when storms arise, even when attacks come, you will have someone rowing with you instead of against you. Opportunities will open, doors will unlock, and blessings will flow, not because they are your good luck charm, but because heaven blesses divine partnerships. The impact you create together will multiply far beyond what either of you could have accomplished alone. And when this unfolds, you will finally see why God made you wait. He was not only protecting your heart from heartbreak, he was protecting your destiny from delay. The wrong person can derail your calling for years. The right one can accelerate you into the fullness of what God has planned since before time. So the question to ask yourself is simple yet profound. When you envision the future God is leading you into, does this person walk there beside you? Not as a passenger, but as a co-laborer, a warrior, a builder of the same kingdom. Because that is the second sign, and it is every bit as essential as the piece that comes first. When everything has been said, when every sign has been laid before you, and when every veil has been lifted from your understanding of love, it all leads to this unshakable truth. When God chooses someone for you, you will not have to twist yourself into shapes that do not belong to you. You will not have to chase them, beg for their presence, or sacrifice the core of who you are in order to be worthy of their love. Divine love is not forged through manipulation, nor does it demand that you dim the light within you just to avoid overshadowing them. Instead, it moves like a river, steady and unstoppable, carving its way with quiet strength through every obstacle that dares to stand in its path. It does not roar like the fleeting passions of the world, burning bright only to fade into ashes. It glows like an enduring flame, one that refuses to be extinguished by the winds of circumstance. And when you encounter it, when you stand before the person God has written into the story of your life, there will be a knowing within your spirit that transcends words. It will not need to shout. It will not need validation from 1,000 outside voices. The Holy Spirit himself will whisper into the deepest recesses of your being. This is it. This is what I prepared for you. That whisper will not be frantic or chaotic. It will not resemble the restless hunger of counterfeit loves. Instead, it will feel like home. And home is not always the grand spectacle the world has conditioned us to expect. It may not look like fireworks exploding in the night sky or cinematic scenes drenched in perfection. True love, as God designed it, rarely imitates the shallow portrayals that culture glorifies. It does not fade into silence after dazzling you for a brief season. No, it arrives like a steady fire that grows brighter with each passing year. It roots itself into the soil of your soul, so that even in storms, even in winters, it remains alive. And when it does, it feels like coming back to a place you had been searching for long before you even knew how to describe it. That is why many who have encountered this kind of connection say the same thing. I just knew. It was not because of dazzling words or perfect moments, but because their spirit recognized what God had authored. And so the charge to you is simple, but weighty. Wait. Wait with holy defiance against the temptation to settle for something less. Wait with courage, even when loneliness tempts you to compromise. Wait with unwavering trust, because the God who formed you also holds the timeline of your destiny. Do not allow the wilderness of waiting to convince you that your promise has been forgotten. Do not surrender to the lies that tell you you are asking for too much or hoping for something unrealistic. Heaven's design is not a fantasy. It is a certainty written before time began. The one who knows the end from the beginning already knows the exact moment to bring his chosen one face to face with you. And when that moment arrives, you will not need a sign written in the sky. You will not need to beg God for confirmation. Your soul will recognize them because the author of your story has already written their name into your pages. This is why every tear you have cried, every restless night you have endured, every moment you have questioned why your soul refuses to settle for less, will one day make sense. The waiting has not been wasted. The battles you fought were not pointless. The silence you endured was not neglect. It was preparation. God was not punishing you by withholding love. He was protecting you. He was preserving the priceless gift of your destiny by keeping your heart safe until the right one arrived. Because the love He has designed for you is not only about happiness, it is about purpose. It is about building, about multiplying, about advancing heaven's mission on earth through a covenant that hell itself fears. So guard your heart with a vigilance that cannot be shaken. Guard it like the crown jewel of heaven, for that is exactly what it is. Do not hand it over to counterfeits that promise passion but deliver emptiness. Do not exchange it for the temporary comfort of someone who cannot walk beside you into destiny. And do not compromise it in the name of loneliness. For loneliness is temporary, but compromise leaves lasting scars. Your heart is worth waiting for the exact love God has designed. Your calling is too sacred, your assignment too important, your destiny too valuable to be tethered to someone who was never meant to carry it with you. When the day comes and heaven's choice stands before you, embrace it with both hands. Do not shrink back in fear, and do not doubt whether you deserve it. Understand this. God is not giving you this love because of what you earned. He is giving it because He ordained it. It is part of your inheritance as His beloved. And once you step into it, you will understand why every counterfeit fell apart, why every almost but not quite faded, why every season of silence was necessary. Because when the true one comes, when the divinely aligned connection appears, you will never again question why you waited. The very weight of heaven's peace, the undeniable alignment of purpose, the divine protection that surrounds it, and the way it transforms you from the inside out will silence every doubt. This kind of love is not simply for romance or companionship. It is not given merely so you can say you found your other half. No, it is far more profound. It is about destiny. It is about becoming the fullest version of yourself while walking in step with someone who has been designed to amplify you, challenge you, protect you, and grow with you. It is about reflecting the love of God so deeply that the world cannot help but notice. It is about creating a legacy of faith, of hope, of resilience, of courage, of transformation. And that is why you cannot rush it, why you cannot settle, and why you must believe that what God has ordained will never pass you by. So let this be your declaration. I will wait for heaven's choice. Speak it not only with your lips, but with your actions, your standards, your boundaries, and your faith. Let the spirit realm hear it. Let the enemy be warned by it, and let heaven celebrate it. For when you anchor yourself in this truth, when you hold to it with unshakable conviction, you align yourself with the exact moment God has appointed. Your story is not finished. Your chapter is still being written. The author of your life has saved something extraordinary for the right time, and when it arrives, you will know. And in that knowing, you will finally understand what it means to experience love that is more than emotion, more than circumstance, more than fleeting infatuation. You will understand what it means to experience love as destiny. And when you do, nothing, neither the storms of life, nor the whispers of doubt, nor the schemes of the enemy, will ever be able to convince you otherwise. For this love, the love chosen by God Himself, will mark you forever.